Lee's Dodd, a life of promise and the shadows ahead in the quiet riverside town of Alton, Illinois. Life usually follows a gentle rhythm. People know their neighbors, the streets are familiar, and the world seems safe. But sometimes, even in the calmest towns, tragedy can strike suddenly, leaving shockwaves that ripple through families and communities. This is the story of Lee's Dodd, a 22-year-old woman whose life was full of promise, excitement, and love, a story that would end in heartbreak and leave lingering questions about relationships, safety, and the unpredictable turns life can take. Lee's Ann Dodd was born in Jerseyville, Illinois, a small, close-knit community not far from Alton. Those who knew her described Lee's as a bright light, someone whose smile could lift the spirits of anyone around her. She was known for her compassion, her sense of humor, and her unwavering willingness to help others. Her mother, Heidi Noel, often spoke fondly of Lee's combination of sass and kindness, a young woman who could challenge you with her words but embrace you with her heart. Growing up, Lee's life revolved around simple joys, spending time with her family, exploring hobbies, and dreaming about the future. She had a curiosity about the world and a desire to make meaningful connections. Friends remember her as someone who could brighten a room and support anyone in need. She carried this same energy into her teenage and young adult years, earning respect and affection in every circle she joined. By early 2022, Lee's life was on the cusp of change. At just 22 years old, she discovered she was expecting her first child, a baby girl, due in July. The news brought excitement and nervous anticipation. Her family and friends rallied around her, planning baby showers and preparing for the arrival. Lee's herself was determined to provide a loving, stable environment for her child, reflecting the same care she had shown others throughout her life. At the same time, Lee's sought independence. She had recently moved to Alton, leaving behind the comfort of Jerseyville to establish her own space and a fresh start. Moving to a new town is always a challenge, but for Lee's, it was a step toward creating a life where she and her unborn daughter could thrive. She found a small apartment on Bolivar Street, a quiet part of town she hoped would be safe and welcoming. However, life is never simple, and relationships often carry complications. Lee's had been in an on-and-off relationship with Doindria Holloway, a fellow 22-year-old resident of Alton. Their relationship began around 2020, marked by typical youthful highs and lows, but occasionally veiling deeper tensions. Friends noted the emotional ups and downs, but Lee's, like many young adults, hoped for stability. She wanted to see the good in people, to believe that love and understanding could prevail even in the face of difficulties. Adding complexity to the situation, Lee's unborn child was not Doindria's. This created layers of emotional dynamics that required careful navigation. Lee's remained committed to her own growth and to providing a nurturing environment for her baby, balancing hope with caution. Experts note that pregnancy can be a high-stress period, especially when relationships are strained. Organizations such as Alive in St. Louis have highlighted the increased risk of conflict during pregnancy and the critical importance of support systems for young mothers. As June 2022 approached, Lee's was focused on preparing for motherhood. Her days were filled with nesting activities, setting up the baby's room, attending medical appointments, and making plans for a future she envisioned with optimism. Yet beneath the surface, the emotional and relational challenges of her life created pressures that were not always visible to outsiders. Lee's story at this point was a delicate balance of joy, anticipation, and navigating complexities that many young women face. Her friends describe her as resilient and determined, someone who pursued stability even when circumstances were difficult. She maintained strong family connections, regularly speaking with her mother and seeking advice and comfort. Lee's relationship with her mother, Heidi, was a source of strength. Heidi often recalled Lee's thoughtful nature, her sense of humor, and her ability to light up any room. The bond between them was profound, rooted in love, trust, and shared experiences. Life in Alton, however, was not without its challenges. The town, picturesque and serene, masked the difficulties that sometimes simmer beneath the surface. Like many communities, Alton relied on neighbors to watch out for one another. But even in seemingly safe towns, personal conflicts and crises can unfold behind closed doors. Lee's move to this new environment represented hope, but also placed her in situations she could not have fully anticipated. Throughout these months, Lise continued to navigate her relationship with Doindria. While many young couples experience misunderstandings and disagreements, Lise remained focused on the future and her responsibilities as a mother-to-be. Friends remember that she often spoke about wanting peace and stability, not only for herself, but for her unborn daughter. Her desire for normalcy and joy reflected her inner strength and foresight, even as external challenges arose. At the same time, Lisa's personality and resilience drew people to her. She maintained friendships, supported others in times of need, and balanced her own ambitions with care for those around her. This duality strength, paired with empathy, made her stand out in her community. Even amid uncertainty, Lise showed a commitment to living fully, embracing her pregnancy, and preparing for the new chapter of motherhood. While much of life seemed hopeful, the events of early June 2022 would dramatically alter the course of her story. The final weeks leading up to June were filled with planning, anticipation, and careful preparation. Lise was aware of the responsibilities ahead and approached them with a sense of purpose. Her story, however, would soon take a turn that would shock her family, friends, and the entire town of Alton. The tragic day, investigation, and legacy. June 9, 2022, a day like any other, until it was not. The morning of June 9, 2022, began like any other in Alton. The sun rose over the quiet streets. The river reflected golden light, and the town's residents went about their routines. For Lise Dodd, the day started with anticipation. With her due date approaching, she was preparing for the arrival of her baby girl. Small tasks occupied her: organizing the apartment, checking medical appointments, and planning for the upcoming weeks. Yet, there was an undercurrent of caution. She was mindful of her safety, her surroundings, and the challenges she faced in navigating a complex relationship. By the evening, however, concern began to grow. Lisa's mother, Heidi Noel, tried reaching her daughter multiple times, but received no response. Living in nearby Jerseyville, Heidi sensed that something was wrong. Maternal intuition told her that she could not wait. She decided to drive to Alton to check on Lise, unaware that what awaited her would forever change their lives. When Heidi arrived at the Boulevard Street apartment, the scene she encountered was devastating. The silence, the stillness, and the absence of her daughter's familiar warmth filled the space with a haunting emptiness. Authorities were immediately called, and the Alton Police Department launched a rapid response. Recognizing the seriousness of the situation, Chief Marcos Pulido archival recreation described the event as a tragic incident requiring full deployment and meticulous investigation. Neighbors, friends, and the wider community were stunned. People like April Wooten, a close neighbor, expressed disbelief. To lose a child that way, they lost 2 lives, Lise and her unborn daughter. The shock was collective, with the reality of the tragedy slowly sinking in as the news spread. The investigation begins. Alton Police, led by Chief Jared Ford, mobilized all available resources. The Madison County Sheriff's Office, Illinois State Police, and specialized units joined in the investigation. Every detail mattered: the apartment, potential witnesses, communications, and any circumstantial evidence. Investigators worked tirelessly to reconstruct the timeline, carefully documenting each clue while respecting the privacy of those involved. Early in the investigation, Doindria Holloway emerged as a person of interest. Previously arrested in Gillespie for unrelated matters, Holloway's connection to Lisa's case prompted law enforcement to delve deeper into past interactions, communications, and behavioral patterns. Investigators emphasized that the goal was to piece together events factually, ensuring justice while maintaining procedural fairness. Challenges arose in the investigation. Questions about Holloway's mental fitness required evaluations to ensure that any legal proceedings would be conducted appropriately. Expert assessments were carried out, balancing public interest with the rights of the accused. These steps, while sometimes delaying the process, were essential for a fair judicial outcome. By late 2024, the case progressed through the legal system. The Illinois Supreme Court issued key rulings clarifying charges, particularly concerning the unborn child. Legal experts noted that these decisions highlighted both the complexities of criminal law and the importance of addressing unresolved conflicts with clarity. Charges, plea, and trial. Holloway faced a range of serious charges: first-degree murder, intentional homicide of an unborn child, concealment, and related offenses. The legal process emphasized both accountability and the sensitive handling of a family's grief. State's Attorney Tom Hayne noted, "The plea spared the family additional trauma. No full trial occurred, respecting the family's wishes for closure." Even in the midst of legal proceedings, authorities and advocacy organizations stressed the importance of support for individuals in similar circumstances. Unresolved conflicts, mental health challenges, and domestic stressors can escalate if unaddressed. Resources such as hotlines, counseling services, and local organizations play a vital role in prevention. Sentencing and aftermath. January 17, 2025, Holloway was sentenced to 60 years in prison. While this outcome brought a measure of justice, the emotional scars for the family, friends, and community were profound. Loss on this scale cannot be measured in legal terms alone. Lisa's mother described the experience poignantly. "This was a life sentence for me too, to live without my beautiful, loving daughter, and the joy of watching her raise my granddaughter." Community support played an essential role in coping with the aftermath. A GoFundMe campaign raised nearly $16,000 for the family, reflecting the compassion of neighbors, friends, and strangers moved by Lisa's story. Vigils and memorials in Alton reminded residents that life is fragile, and awareness, care, and support are crucial. Reflecting on Lisa's legacy, though initially shrouded in mystery, Lise Dodd's story ultimately found resolution through dedicated investigative work, legal diligence, and the perseverance of those seeking justice. Her life, tragically cut short, offers lessons for families, communities, and society at large. Awareness of relationship dynamics, understanding warning signs in relationships, and providing support for those at risk is vital. Organizations like Alive and local domestic support networks offer resources to help prevent tragedies. Community responsibility. Small towns, while seemingly safe, must remain vigilant, fostering a culture of care and communication. Mental health and support systems, conflict resolution, counseling, and early intervention can prevent escalation during vulnerable periods such as pregnancy or major life transitions. Honoring lives beyond tragedy. Lise was more than a victim. She was a daughter, a friend, and an expectant mother who dreamed of a future filled with love and possibility. Remembering her spirit, kindness, and resilience preserves her legacy. The story of Lise Dodd reminds us that tragedy can strike unexpectedly, even in the most peaceful communities. But it also demonstrates the power of persistence, investigation, and collective compassion. Her life, though brief, continues to inspire awareness, caution, and empathy. A message to the audience: if you or someone you know faces danger, conflict, or uncertainty in personal relationships, resources are available. Reach out to hotlines, counseling services, or trusted community organizations. Awareness, timely action, and support can save lives. We encourage you to comment your thoughts, like, and subscribe to Dark Crime Case for more in-depth stories of real events. Share this story to honor Lisa's life and help raise awareness about the importance of community vigilance, healthy relationships, and support for those in need.